This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
porkfest.com.
When I was a cub reporter in Longview, Texas, I attended a meeting with prominent bankers and big market journalists. One of them told me, "I can get my reporters to leap over tall senators in a single bound, but they tremble in ignorance before a banking exec." That ignorance eventually led us to the tyranny we have today. Banking operatives now indirectly dominate the federal government, and they possess a Tolkienian power. Through the Federal Reserve, they can create money. Imagine if that power landed in your lap tomorrow. Is there anything you would not be able to do? Well, you don't have that power. Someone else does, and they're using it against you.
Yeah, I think it's still morning.
Don't let me slow you down.
But now a man whose power comes from the people and from the justness of his ideas is successfully challenging the powerful, unaccountable institution. Congressman Ron Paul of Texas now has nearly half the U.S. House of Representatives actively backing his so-called Federal Reserve Transparency Act. This bill would pit one of the least evil federal institutions against its most evil institution. It would force an audit of the Federal Reserve by the General Accounting Office. And now a prominent Democrat, Grayson, has become a co-sponsor of the bill. That brings the total number of Ron Paul's co-sponsors to 175. I was a little unclear at first as to what the benefits would be of auditing the Fed, but ultimately it probably goes back to what I said before about the people and the reporters being ignorant of banking and of the Federal Reserve System. This audit could change that. Even the process of gathering co-sponsors is generating mainstream media publicity. One of the smaller organizations that's talking about it is businessinsider.com, and they report some shocking pieces of information that would resonate with the American public if they ever got on the front page of the New York Times. Insider trading, strong Enron connections, bankers negotiating with the Fed to receive money while they're sitting on the board of the Federal Reserve. But ultimately, if the publicity just exposed Americans to that one point, the Federal Reserve has the power to create money and is abusing that power, that might be enough. A Free Stater I was talking to in New Hampshire here recently told me that during the Great Depression, or at the beginning of it, they said that only a tiny number of people understood what it meant to debauch the currency. They didn't understand the implications of government printing money, what it did in causing inflation and so forth. But now it appears that a good at least 7 to 12% of Americans do understand it. So maybe that's something we've got going for us in this crisis that they didn't have in the Great Depression. I'm still looking for a good rhyme, though, that explains why the Federal Reserve is at the center of all our problems. If you can think of one, just post it as a response to this video. And if it's good enough, maybe I can sing it on the Ridley Report. Another big piece of news that I didn't see getting much coverage is the fact that the Senate appears to be sympathetic toward the spirit of Paul's bill. They have just passed a non-binding resolution calling for more transparency at the Fed.
This is Dave Ridley signing off for RidleyReport.com.
Free Staters host awesome events. The next big one is Porcupine Festival, starting June 25th, 2009. We'll be doing a lot of this, and a lot of this. It's inexpensive, it's pretty, And PorkFest accepts Liberty dollars.